The 25-26 Prem fixtures, they're out right now, my friends. And you know what this means? It means you can start to finally plan those summer holidays accordingly. My friends, a lot to unpack, a lot to discuss, and already in the space of no time. One season's over, a new one is on the horizon. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video. But before I go on, you can probably guess what I'm about to plug right now, but I gotta do it because at the moment, my friends, the merchandise the club have been offering this summer, they're all masterpieces. The club know that. That's why they're advertising it so shamelessly. And from beautiful items like our away kit to the new American inspired designs too. I think for me, yeah, it's going to be a very droppy summer sadly. And if you guys are contemplating making a purchase, help a brother out, use my affiliate links, and don't forget to use Nini10 at checkout to get a full 10% off your final order. So that is now out of the way, my friends. Let's tackle today's fixture news. And you guys are seeing some of the fixtures on the screen beside me. August, I think this is probably the best way for us to start a new Premier League season. It's a tough summer, man. We're currently in America. Yeah, the team have been traveling. How many miles over last season playing in the Conference League? We're not really going to have a proper preseason as well. There's a big possibility that many players from teams who are playing in all these tournaments over the summer and who had really difficult seasons last season, they could start the next season on reds, feeling a bit fatigued. So for us, the fact that for the next 6 weeks, my guys, the next 6 weeks, we don't have to worry about any rigorous away fixtures or anything like that. We are literally located in London for the next 6 weeks. It means that the team now don't have to suffer traveling. It means that Maresca can prepare now for games in a much stronger fashion due to players, of course, being in a better position and a better environment. I think the fact that we're playing against your Crystal Palaces, West Ham United's, Fulhams, yes, they are tough games at times, but equally, we have picked up a lot of points against teams like this. There's a big possibility that we're going to have a nice, confident start to the new season, hopefully build some momentum. These are the type of games where you can't take them for granted. You can't be going in overconfident. But I think with us set to add new additions to the team, and hopefully if we have a successful Club World Cup tournament as well, there's going to be a lot of hunger and excitement to really... But you'll see a lot of players wanting to make their mark, wanting to show up, wanting to assert themselves consistently in Maresca's ideas. So they're going to be licking their lips at the opening fixtures for the new Prem season. And if you look at our recent London derby records against a lot of these teams outside of Arsenal, I think our win rate is over 60%. I think it's around 61%. You know, we get a lot of points against Crystal Palace. You know, we get more points than we lose against West Ham and for Fulham as well. And then when you know the fact that going into September, you have Brentford's away, a Brentford that won't have Thomas Frank, they could be a lot more vulnerable in terms of having a poor start to the new season. This leads up very nicely to our next game against Manchester United away from home. And that will be like the first big test. So if we can have some momentum behind our belts here, a nice run of wins, maybe a few players on some scoring form, that could really, really help us. And then things start to get a little bit more difficult because after Manchester United away, we are going to have those games coming up against the big boys. We are going to be against Liverpool. Nottingham Forest, let's see what they do. They need to have a successful summer periods. They're going to hurt that they didn't secure Champions League football. They're already kind of feeling the consequences of not getting that because they're unable to target the top players they were hoping they could have attracted with Champions League football. They could be in a vulnerable position. Sunderland, of course, now they've lost Joe Bellingham. I'm not really feeling any type of concern, but I say this, and we didn't even beat Ipswich last season. You know, I'm still howling that loss at Portman Roads where Liam Delap scored that pen against us and how poor we did. So in a league like this, you can't really take any teams for granted. So this is going to be really interesting to see. And then once we get to the Christmas period, the dreaded Christmas period, this is where things start to get a little bit techie. Having two major London derbies, Tottenham Hotspur under Thomas Frank, they're going to be a different beast. We have struggled against Thomas Frank's Brentford over the last few years. Like, Brentford have ended up being one of our biggest bogey teams out of all the London derbies. That's something we can't take for granted. And you want to ensure that you kind of start that month well, because having Wolves and Burnley, yes, they're winnable games, but then having Arsenal at home afterwards, that's the big one. I'm sure you guys kind of feel similar to me. I'm getting a bit sick and tired of not getting points against Arsenal, not getting points against Man United. You know, I took that period for granted where we would consistently bag 3 points against these teams during that great era with your Lampards and Drogbas and Terrys and all of that. It's been a long time, man. And I'm hoping that maybe next season, yeah. I don't think we're going to win the league. I still think, again, sadly, we're probably like another year or two away, which is really annoying. But at least if we can win more silverware, secure Champions League easily, and maybe pick up some memorable victories against the big teams for next season, that is a positive trajectory I can accept. I can look forward to. I can get ready for. So let's see what happens there. And then obviously December time, man. December time gets a little bit techie. And I think for this part, let me just enlarge the screen so we can actually really look into detail about what this fixture list is really saying. Bro, Leeds United, Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle, Villa, and Bournemouth. Now, on paper, you're feeling maybe a bit optimistic about doing something against this level of opposition. But, you know, I'm sorry, man, we can't be taking this stuff for granted at all, yeah? We saw what happened last season where we dropped so many points against this type of opposition we thought we would do a lot better against. Like, I don't see us going into December securing 6 wins. I'd be happy to get at least 3 wins or maybe 2 wins and some draws. Just to try and keep the momentum going, because we know one thing with the Premier League these days is that teams take points off each other. That won't be changing anytime soon next season, yeah? At all. So I feel like when you have these moments where this is the crucial month to secure the most points you can, these really determine whether you are going to maybe have a title challenge in your hands or if you're not going to have that. And you know what? Who knows what happens? We haven't seen how our summer window ends. If we secure some big boys, I might have maybe a different reaction in the future. At the moment, I can only give this reaction based on what we're doing currently right now. But until I feel super confident in the squad and the team that when we get to December, we're ready for whatever comes and we can make anything happen, then I can't be sitting here telling you guys that, yeah, December, easy games, let's go, because nothing's easy for us. January now gets a bit techier. Man City away. Man City going to be a really interesting team. It feels like Pep Guardiola has reacted to Paris Saint-Germain's dominance at the moment. Hence why City have recruited more of a technical profile of player. I'm actually really curious to see how they adapt together as a team and what new things they introduce in the league. That will be one of the big teams to watch out for, in my opinion. And then it's literally London derby time. I don't know why we have all our derbies together, but I think after a grueling December, and when you have games coming like literally every few days, especially with like, you know, FA Cup games, Carabao Cup games, and then Champions League games as well too. I think January is going to be good in terms of our fatigue, because when you get to just stay in London for like nearly the whole month, it gives more preparation for Enzo Maresca, because when you have to travel, that takes up time. That's taking days away, time away from training sessions, from preparation, from the details that can really make the difference in terms of securing victory or a point and getting nothing from the game, yeah? So I'm happy that when we play most of these London derby games, they are like in a very congested, part of our season. They're all coming thick and fast. And I'm curious and kind of slightly optimistic about what we can do in these types of games. Of course, my optimism will be boosted depending on how hard we hit the start of the season. But for some reason, even though we are going to have some difficulties due to like poor preseason prep and fatigue, I am feeling like we are going to maybe have this kind of new energy and bounce actually when the season starts. I don't know why I feel that. I just feel like with everything happening right now, this is what I'm sensing at the moment. And this leads us on now to some of the big periods now for later on in the season. And things get hard, man. Things get difficult. Obviously, you're looking at the February period. Wolves, Leeds, Burnley, a lot of home games, a big away game against Arsenal. For myself, I don't know how big that game will be. I kind of see Arsenal struggling a bit next season. I feel like their season is too dependent on their success in the market this window. If they aren't able to sign any upgrade signings, I don't see them having the most successful season. I think maybe the life cycle under Arteta is kind of slowly coming to an end a little bit, and it feels like they have to add a new things to their game now because they're getting sussed out a little bit. March, of course, the fixtures come down a bit. Hopefully around this period we have CL knockout games to be focusing on. But anyway, Villa, Newcastle, Everton, they're tough games regardless of the type of season they could be having. These are the type of games we have been dropping points in over the last few years. And this is where things get mad, yeah? April and May. Games against City, United. I even have to say Brighton after what they did to us last season, man. I'm sure a lot of us are still harrowing over those two defeats back to back. Liverpool and Spurs. Wow. You know, we're going to learn a lot about this team. I'm hoping that in my opinion, if next season goes to plan, but listen, I don't think it's going to be a title challenging season. We aren't there yet. But at least bagging silverware, securing CL a lot easier, and maybe having a very strong CL run. They're good positives that we can take forwards to the 26-27 season, where this is where, for me, this is full on title challenge. And normally, you know if that's going to be, you know, on the horizon, because it depends on how well you end the season prior. Strong season ends kind of lead on to strong season starts, and strong seasons, you know, just following up. Actually, it makes a lot of sense. You know, I mean, come on, man. From the end of the season to the start of the new season, there's only a handful of months. It's not like these guys are completely falling off, drinking, eating, partying till the late hours and just coming back with no fitness or no form. Absolutely not. So you can carry forward momentum from the end of the season to the start of the season. And I make this point because if we have a strong end to next season, getting points off maybe Cities, Uniteds, Liverpools and Spurs, this will tell me for the 26-27 season, okay, the team have passed their final test now. We are now ready now to start challenging for the league and keeping our aspirations and our levels this high now, yeah? You guys can see me on screen this way, innit? Yeah, man. I can't believe in the space in no time, we're already back with a new Prem season, man. But I'm optimistic for some reason. Maybe more optimistic for the season coming up compared to last season, actually. I did think we would get Champions League football. We got that in the end. I did say that we'd get Conference League bag. I think we all expected that. So we did achieve the bare minimum. But I think next season coming up now, this is where we set new bare minimums. You know, I don't even want to congratulate the team on getting Champions League next season. That is something that we shouldn't be congratulating at Chelsea Football Club. It's a given. It's a guarantee. But I do want to see some positive developments in terms of more silverware getting lifted and strong runs in the Champions League. We have to remember that for this team, it is going to be a bit hard to adjust balancing Champions League responsibilities and Prem duties. I think Maresca's shown with the Conference League that he is very open to rotation. You're more encouraged to do that last season when you're playing against teams that I'm sure you guys have forgotten their names already and couldn't name a single player from these teams, right? I understand. But these are the details we have to keep in the back of our minds. So let's hope that we can have a really impactful summer window. I think that can really determine how easy we find success for next season. And I'm really hoping, for a personal note, that we can take some points off some of the big boys. You know, it was nice to beat Liverpool near the end of last season. Can we do it again? Liverpool are reacting. Wirtz, Kirkeged coming through. Frimpong's been signed. They want to sign another striker. They're going to move on Darwin Núñez. They're going to sign another left winger. They're looking at Malik Fofana themselves. They're kind of setting the benchmark, and I respect that. I actually respect the hell out of that. That they're like, you know what, we've won something, but we're not here to win the league every 3 to 4 years. We're here to be the dominant force in the Prem. We're going to set the levels high. When you set the levels high, it means everyone must match that, and everyone must react to that. So it's going to be really fascinating to see what the new Prem season brings, my friends. You guys share your thoughts and opinions. What are some of the fixtures that you're most looking forward to? How do you feel about the start of the new season as well? Is this promising? Is this exciting? Or do you feel like maybe we're getting a bit too ahead of ourselves? Because normally when we get overconfident, this is where we get a bit straight in the arse, right? So let us know how you're feeling about the Prem fixtures, and I'll see you guys with some more videos later on. Love. Cool.